Hey, folks, gang, people, welcome. Shang-Chi, the Legend of the Ten Rings. The trailer just dropped. I'm about to check it out, so please join me. Join me. I've watched it a couple times. It looks very interesting. But yeah, let's check it out and talk about it. All right. Yeah, I really like the atmosphere so far. It's very colorful. Very colorful. Everything pops off of the screen. You know, Marvel is really good at maintaining the aesthetic they've set up from the very beginning of, from Iron Man. And I'd say this is probably their most colorful production yet. Yeah, look at this aesthetic, man. And I really appreciate the way the aesthetic changes from setting to setting, right? You get the city vibe, you got a lot of color and vibrancy. And then you go to the temple, and it looks like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Really great stuff so far. I like the costumes. Yeah, I really appreciate the mix of modern and traditional Chinese or ancient Chinese aesthetic in the costume designs and the setting. Really great blend. Yeah, and this is what we came for, the fight scenes. And it looks amazing. As I mentioned before, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, you really get that vibe in this scene over here. This scene, like that's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, man. Like wire work, great wire work. Um, I recently saw the Mortal Kombat movie. I'll be making a video about that right after this, so stick around. Yeah, I love it. I really enjoy stories that bounce between times, between eras, between generations. So starting in ancient times and then showing clips of modern times and the story is interwoven. I really like that because I find it gives a story scale, it gives a story scope. You know, I really enjoy it. Yeah, once again, the mix of futuristic in this case, not just modern, but actually basically futuristic gear. And this is probably the most Marvel shot, given everything we've seen from Marvel so far, like with tech and super villains and superheroes and superpowers. This is the most high tech thing I've seen so far in the trailer. Let's keep going. I was confused at first, like so here I was confused. Yeah, so that's Shang-Chi using the staff, I believe. Yeah, because he's also wearing the costume that we've seen from behind the scenes shots, on-set photos of the production of Shang-Chi. So this is Shang-Chi using the staff. And the 10 rings, see, so this guy has these rings on his arm, his forearm, right there. And this is not Shang-Chi. I wonder who this is. But anyway, I'm thinking, does this have anything? Are these the Ten Rings? No, but I guess Ten Rings is the name of the shadowy organization run by his father. But they've shown this purple glowing bands, rings on this fighter's hands several times, right? It glows and it's supposed to. It gives us the idea that it has mystical or magical powers and or enhances people's abilities. So, not sure what's going on at all. That's something else I appreciate about this trailer. They give you enough to intrigue you, right? Like they don't even show Shang-Chi fighting a lot. Like this is the very first time you see him as he is in the present, not as a child training or as a teenager kicking ass for his father, right? So this is the only scene you see Shang-Chi as he is now, as the story is being told in action. And it's great. Like that is because, man, we've watched so many kung fu movies. We've been inundated with kung fu movies. If you like that genre, if you like that style of action movies, so it's hard to imagine how they could make it fresh. Which is why the John Wick series has been such a big hit because it showed hand-to-hand combat in a light that people have never seen before. It made it fresh. Like John Wick rarely had car chases. If it only had one, I think in the second one, and then it had a horse chase in Parabellum. But in John Wick, the very first John Wick, there wasn't even a car chase. No huge explosions. The dynamic nature of the action scenes, of the fight scenes, are what drove John Wick to success. And just from this action scene alone, I feel they're gonna do some really fresh stuff with the kung fu scenes. Like this is great, like because it's easy to do that and say that, oh, this guy is a special martial artist because he does all these fancy elaborate moves, right? But how do you, and that it could just be surface level aesthetically, but how do you actually show that a fighter is truly unique, right? And this shows that he's unique with just this move that he does here. Like, boom, pow, like that is some serious. That really sells that this guy is not just any kung fu fighter. And like kudos to Marvel. Like these guys know what they're doing. I don't even know who directs this movie. I had no idea. I have no idea about Shang-Chi. I don't know what he's about. I just before starting this video, I went on Wikipedia, went to the internet and did some research. So I have some information about what Shang-Chi is about, and we'll talk about that later. But that little action scene we just saw really sells me that Shang-Chi is no ordinary kung fu fighter. Let's see that again. Fucking excellent. The actor they're using, this guy is jacked. Oh my god. I would have preferred a more Bruce Lee type body. This guy seems a little too big, right? For a kung fu guy. I find like he's just a little too jacked, a little too heavy set, But it also speaks to the fact that he's super strong, I guess. He's really, really strong. Aquafina is back. Aquafina, let's watch that again. So Aquafina was the voice of Raya in Raya and the Last Dragon, right? She has that raspy voice. Few people, I watched the video where people were making fun of it or talking about how, they don't like her voice. She sounds like a grandma that smoked for 1,000 years. I like her. Like, that's why she's successful. She's very unique, and she's a comedian and a rapper. I like Aquafina. She was also in an episode of Between the Ferns with Zach Galifianakis, and she was funny. I like her. And she's being put in a lot of things lately. Raya, The Last Dragon, now in another Disney property. So Disney's loving Raya. Aquafina. Congratulations, Aquafina. Amazing. So yeah, let's take this from the top again. And I'll tell you what I know so far about Shang-Chi. So Shang-Chi is the son of a character named Fu Manchu, his father, who was pretending to be this great, good, philanthropic, benevolent person out in the world doing good deeds. And according to the original Marvel comic story, Shang-Chi, Fu Manchu, trains his son from birth, as you can see in the trailer, so that he can protect himself against the deadliest people in the world. So eventually, Fu Manchu sends Shang-Chi to the Western world to assassinate somebody, and there he meets an MI6 agent who reveals to him that his father is not a good guy at all, that he's a very evil person, and hands the change. Shang-Chi changes and goes against his father and swears to bring down his father's evil empire, the Ten Rings. And you can get all that from the trailer as well. They really sum that up here. This guy right here, this bad. Once again, the colors pop in the costume design. I love it. This guy looks amazing. This guy is, I believe, he is Midnight, Shang-Chi's half brother, or brother in the Ten Rings. But he's his brother. He is Fu Manchu's top assassin, right? Shang-Chi also has a sister who we're gonna see later on. She's the Asian lady with the bob. And her story is she's also trying to bring down her father's organization, but she's not as pure-hearted as Shang-Chi, and she tries to recruit Shang-Chi into working for her and manipulating him. And eventually he breaks ties with her as well to do his own thing, right? So this looks like, man, this is, from everything I read on the internet, the little research I did, and this trailer, this is Shang-Chi, right, from the comic books. They're really hitting all the stories that make up the character of Shang-Chi, the world of Shang-Chi. So on his mission in the Western world to assassinate that person, and which he changed and went after his father's dead, this is where he also meets the Avengers. He meets Iron Man. He meets Spider-Man. So, man, once again, so those are the rings on the character's hand. So I don't know what this is and who is this person. And I believe this is another period from the modern sections we're seeing with Shang-Chi. This is like ancient times, I believe, because we've got these monsters. I'm excited. These guys look dope. I don't know what they are. We see some more of them later on in the trailer. They look like bison, like giant bison, like they look like Appa, actually. Yeah, they look like Appa, but more ferocious. Yeah, we see a little more of them later on. So once again, bouncing back between the modern world with Shang-Chi doing his current battle and an ancient battle, right? So it seems like there are two factions, or the Ten Rings is trying to acquire a certain kind of power from another faction. It feels like an ancient feud that has been going on for a long time. So I think these are ancient times. So that's his sister right there. I forget her name. Actually, I think I can look it up right now. His sister. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, that is his sister. Yeah. Yeah, like just that burst of purple, right? Like, it looks great. Look at this. Look at this. A really amazing blend of traditional and modern aesthetic sensibilities. Love it, with the helicopter flying in the background. Meanwhile, you have a kung fu ninja, basically a kung fu assassin, all geared up in traditional kung fu. That mask, I believe, is a kabuki mask, but I'm not sure because kabuki is Japanese, right? But anyway, all decked up in traditional gear, fighting against a modern guy dressed up in a leather jacket and jeans in a skyscraper with a huge neon sign in the background with Chinese text and a helicopter flying by. Amazing. Like, I'm loving this. I'm getting great vibes from this. Yeah, the fight scenes are great. So I think these are one thing in ancient times. And there we go. Wow. What the hell is that? So, I don't know if you guys know about this or have ever seen this, but in a lot of Chinese traditional architecture, you see these lions, but they're I think sometimes they're called dragons as well, but they look like lions and they have these really grotesque faces with big mouths. I think that's what they are, and I guess maybe according to this world and according to this story and this world, those statues are based on these mythic creatures, which will make sense, right? Yeah, so I think that's what these are. Man, can you imagine that coming after you? No matter the battle, bro. Wow, that looks terrifying, and it looks cute as well. You want to pet it. You want it to be your friend. Yeah, let's look at what that is again. I want to get a good look at his face. Yeah, look at it. Yeah, yeah, amazing, amazing. Yeah, yeah. I think that's what they are. You know, those statues you see in front of great castles or pagodas. Um, you know, the those are the statues you see in front of those great doorways, probably like with pillars behind them and something. But you see, two of them on either side. I think that's what these are. The statues represent what these ancient creatures are. What? And yeah, so that's his sister right there. That's Shang-Chi's sister. I like the actor. I like the actor. Um, wow, Marvel, Kevin Feige, man, consistency is amazing. Like this is their power: consistency and a through line and a general aesthetic to represent their their Marvel properties. Because this guy, he's a great choice. Look at him; he's very expressive. He's very expressive, so you can understand why he was cast as Shang Chi, right? He can do the comedy, which is a big part of the Marvel Studios movies. He can do the comedy, right? So he can carry all the comedy scenes, and so he doesn't have to just rely on his martial arts skills throughout the movie. This guy is clearly going to do quite a bit of comedy, especially bouncing off of the comedian Aquafina. Yeah, and then he can turn it up at any time, right? He can turn into the super action hero anytime. And he's not full Chinese, right? Fu Manchu, his father, married a Caucasian woman, an American woman, who he researched as the ideal candidate to bear his child. So he made sure she was genetically perfect so that she could give birth to the ultimate son, right? The genetically perfect son. So he's a mixed breed. He's half Chinese, half Caucasian. Yeah. I also love the flow of this trailer. And man, look at no wonder he's jacked. Like that's him doing those amazing varied push-ups. Wow. I have to look up this actor, see what else he's been in. Definitely nothing as big as this or as as important. So this is Shang-Chi as his father's bodyguard, right? As his father's man. Great aesthetic. Love this aesthetic, man. So his father, I forget his name, his real name, but anyway, he played Ip Man, the Grand Master, not Ip Man by Donnie Yen, but Ip Man, the Grand Master, which is not as good a movie as Ip Man. It's colder. It's a colder movie if that makes any sense. And it's not as satisfying as Ip Man, but it's a more aesthetically pleasing movie. And I believe it was directed by Wong Kar-wai, who did the movie 2046, which is like a futuristic love story starring the same actor. So I don't think like Wong Kar-wai is a great, action movie director, which is why Grandmaster turned out the way it did. But I like this actor, the actor that plays Shang-Chi's father. Yeah, this is really good, full of energy, full of energy. It seems like there is some kind of bus train action scene in every Marvel movie, man. Like we got it in Captain Marvel, we got it in the Wolverine, yeah, where something goes crazy on the bus. We got it in Spider-Man with the train. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's becoming really obvious. But a lot of action movies have that. Speed, starring the amazing Keanu Reeves, was all about that, as you all know. So yeah, so he's living his life. He's not getting no respect. He's nobody. As his father is saying, "You've had all this time. What have you achieved? Time to come home and be an asshole." Oh, wait a second. Wait a second here. I'm seeing something. Oh, look at this. One, two, three, four, five. So these are the 10 rings. There you go. So that guy he is fighting with the staff later on in the trailer, I believe, is his father. Because what happens is during his travels, Shang-Chi learns, and the whole world learns that Fu Manchu isn't really Fu Manchu. Like, that's just an alias. That his father is actually an ancient asshole, like an ancient guy who has existed for a long time, who's able to, who got immortality by taking the life force of his brother. Right? So that guy we're seeing back in the ancient times, in the ancient aspects of this trailer, is his father. So he's been around for a long time, and amazing. I can't believe I just caught that. So these rings are, I guess symbolically, those are actually the physical manifestation of the 10 rings, and they have power, right? So these are the 10 rings we see later on, separated along the forearms of Fu Manchu when he's ready for a fight, and they also glow, have that purple glow. They're emanating that purple glow, which gives him power. Cool. Okay. So maybe Shang-Chi. Yeah, that's so. There you go. You can see him. He uses it. You can see it glows there. Yeah. So that's him. So that's his father doing that, taking out the competition, right? You can see it glows there. Yeah. Amazing. So he's probably like taking out the triad, you know, during his rise to power, right? So Shang-Chi's watching his father kick ass here and using the 10 rings. Amazing. This is Shang-Chi. That's not his father. This is Shang-Chi. Just great aesthetic and so many varied settings, man. I'm really liking this. Did I miss that? Okay, yeah, it's coming up. Yeah, there. It is again. Amazing, amazing. So there they are again, right there. Those are the rings. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah. So those are the five on each forearm, and then it cuts to bam. This is what they look like in action. So this is his father back in the day, and he uses the power of the 10 rings that he's acquired against an entire army, basically. Interesting, exciting. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. So Shang-Chi has his work cut out for him. And so yeah, so this is his father once again, right here. You can see the 10 rings on his father's forearms right there. Right there. And so that's Aquafina, his partner, his cohort. And to Shang-Chi's right is his right, my left is his sister. Right? And this is when they're being exposed to the more ancient, mythical, magical aspects of the world. I love the design of Midnight. Jesus, just so great. I really like it. Like, he looks terrifying, man. Look at this guy. Yeah, that is definitely a kabuki mask. That's a kabuki mask. That's what ancient Japanese actors would wear when they're performing kabuki theater. Yeah, so here He's fighting his father. He's fighting his father. Yeah. Amazing. So once again, look at this shot right here. So this is Shang-Chi right in the middle, I believe. And I guess this is his army, and all these guys are fighting him. I love this castle. This looks great. Ancient times. Love it. It's going to be bouncing back and forth. Really great. I'm Batman. So yeah, this looks great. This looks great. Wow, folks, I'm excited for that. I think this is the probably like the 10th time I've watched this trailer. I watched it a bunch of times before I started this video because it does a great job of giving you enough to make you interested, right? To intrigue you. As I said before, they don't even show the main character Shang-Chi in more than one fight scene. He's getting his ass kicked, but you don't see him really going at it, really going crazy, right? Like, you can imagine most movies about Kung Fu would probably show their main character just kicking ass all over the place, but they withhold that, right? Because that's probably going to be a great aspect of the movie. It's just seeing Shang-Chi kick ass. So I really appreciate that about the trailer. And it just gives you enough, man, to keep you intrigued, to show you the world, to give you a hint of the story, with the voiceover of his father and all the flashback scenes of his ascent to power from ancient times to modern times, the battle with the triads, having a son, training his son to take his place. It's all there, but in enough portions to intrigue you, to captivate you. Great trailer. Doesn't give anything away, but really sets the tone. Really, really fun trailer. I'm excited for this. Really excited. Looking forward to the fall. But tell me, ladies and gentlemen, what did you think? Have you seen the Shang-Chi, not the Shang-Chi, the Shang-Chi trailer and the Legend of the Ten Rings? What did you think of it? Are you excited for it? Lately I've actually been thinking of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which I think is my favorite martial arts movie of all time. It's a tie between that and Enter the Dragon. I can never get enough of Enter the Dragon. I just really love Bruce Lee. So I've been thinking a lot of martial arts movies because I saw Mortal Kombat. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm going to talk about that after this video. So what did you think of the Shang-Chi trailer? Hit that like button. Share the video. Tell your friends about this clown talking about stuff he doesn't know about, or this awesome guy talking about stuff that's getting you excited to see this movie. All right, so hit that notification bell. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. We live in a society, folks. Peace out.